Beware, mortals. You're entering the eerie depths of Chokeslam Radio, where expert insider WWE knowledge and secrets are unleashed with thunderous power.
Rest in peace.
Coming to you live straight from the heart of Death Valley. Here are your mysterious hosts, DRW15 and DJ Big Unknown.
That was sick as fuck. What?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Chokeslam Radio. I am Big Unknown.
It's DRW15 here. We had a big week at the WWE, but before we get into it, we have a very special guest this week.
Thanks,
this is
guys.
Graham. As you can see, founder of Apple. Very excited for him to be on the show. He's a WWE enthusiast, so
Big one.
it's great to have him on here.
Yep. Chokeslam Radio is the place you go if you want to get, insider expertise from, the best experts in WWE and pro wrestling. Graham, like, for example, have you guest starred on any other wrestling podcasts recently?
No, I haven't. You guys are the first ones to get me. I know I'm a hot commodity, so yeah, I appreciate you guys being the first to kind of launch my career in this field.
Yeah, that's something we pride ourselves on.
Yeah,
here at
you
Chokeslam
guys really
Radio.
look for like diamonds in the rough. It's crazy.
Yeah, always the freshest and the most breaking news. So
Yeah,
we're glad to have
you
you on
make
here.
the argument that you guys made me.
No,
I don't know
you made
about
yourself.
Yeah.
We're just here to show you off. But
Appreciate that.
we're glad to have you, and this is a great first appearance for you. Many more to come,
True.
I'm sure.
True. I hope so.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on right now in the WWE universe, but before we get into it, I just want to say rest in peace, Willie Mays, an iconic, legendary Giants player. And, we're thinking about you, and we're going to, this episode is dedicated to you.
Damn, I didn't even know he died. That's crazy.
No.
Yeah, this was, in case our audience doesn't know, this is breaking news as of like an hour ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I
as
thought
we
you were
said,
joking
we're
when you
always
said it just now.
no.
That's
We always
amazing.
have the
The boy.
breaking news, and this show transcends just wrestling sometimes, and when something like that happens, we have to address it here first. So, R.I.P. the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so last weekend we had Clash at the Castle, which was definitely probably, I would say, the greatest WWE show since WrestleMania, which, I mean, that's probably never going to be beaten. But, I mean, this show was great. Every fight they had was outstanding. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I can't wait to break that down. But the thing that everyone's talking about is the massacre that happened last night at the end of Monday Night Raw. And I mean, we on this show had knew that there's like a group of hackers or somebody who, has been giving out all these like warnings for weeks, and we've been calling it out, saying like this needs to be taken more seriously, and look what happened.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. The triple threat match ended with like 5 minutes left on Raw, and I was like, oh, we'll just get to watch Jey Uso celebrate his victory a little bit. We know the crowd loves him. Main event Jey Uso, and then all of a sudden the lights go out. Camera guy's kind of like, what's going on? So he walks backstage, and there's all these guys laying around, blood everywhere, and then these different dudes in crazy costumes, crazy masks walks out. I will say props to the cameraman for having the balls to continue filming. I know Pat McAfee and Michael Cole freaked out and didn't say a single word, but there was some real shit going on there, and I wasn't expecting that for sure.
Yeah.
What do you have to? What did you think about that, Graham, when you saw that?
I didn't think that that was in the realm of WWE at all. I was pretty. That looked like something from like you'd see at Universal on Halloween. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, I know. In LA, they put on these crazy haunted houses and stuff. So it was crazy that something like that would happen in the WWE, and it's not, a production. It's a real thing. And I'm a little worried about Chad Gable because the camera panned to him. He had blood dripping down his face, and we've talked in the past about how, Chad Gable has, stirred up tensions with some other countries. We're worried about bringing him to all these live events abroad, and all of a sudden he's laying on the ground with blood dripping down his head. So,
what are some of the countries he's flamed?
The first one was Canada for sure, and then
damn, wasn't it in Canada last night? Wasn't it in Toronto?
It was in Toronto. That's a good point.
Last night was in Texas, Corpus Christi.
Oh, Corpus Christi, yeah.
I think Money in the Bank is going to be in Canada though.
Oh, got you.
Well,
which Chad Gable's also trying to get involved in. Which
he's trying to get involved.
I don't know what's going to happen now. He could be dead.
You said that was Christie, Texas?
Corpus Christi.
Wow, they pulled a massive crowd. I didn't know there were that many people in Corpus Christi, Texas.
I didn't even know what that was until last night, to be honest.
Who knew they had a stadium there? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways, I don't know what's gonna. I'm concerned that the WWE hasn't said anything about Chad Gable because it's not just Chad Gable. I mean, the cameraman zoomed in on him, but people are also saying that they saw Gunther in the Carnage and Braun Strowman. And I mean, let's not forget about all of the different behind the scenes workers for the WWE who are just massacred. How come the WWE hasn't even put out a statement about this? I'm confused. All they've done is just put out videos of what happened, but with no update on the health of any of these people. Because I mean, to me, it looks like they were dead.
Yeah, well, I know we've talked about these hackers. Maybe the hackers have taken over the WWE accounts because, as you said, the last thing anyone has posted is just a video of what happened. I'm pretty sure that these are the hackers that were there last night. And if I was running the WWE social media accounts, the first thing I would want to do is to say, hey, either these fighters are okay, or hey, we got to watch out because someone just broke into our arena and is attacking Chad Gable and other fighters, but they haven't said anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if these hackers are running all the social media accounts at this point and using it to promote whatever they're doing. But that was crazy last night for sure.
You think the hackers got the physical strength to take on? I just don't see that.
Well, I think the hackers might be the people in the masks last night. Yeah, I don't know how they did that. Yeah. I don't know who these hackers are, but
maybe they were hiring people. What if? Because isn't the competitive the competitor to WWE AEW, right?
Oh yeah.
What if they hired AEW people to fuck up people in WWE?
Well, I actually have a theory on who these people are, and I was gonna wait to get into it, but I guess let's just get into it right now. I have a theory. There were 5 masked people, and I mean, this may be a little shocking at first, but I'm pretty sure I know who these 5 people are.
Oh,
number 1 is Drew McIntyre. I think he's one of the people, because don't you think it's really convenient how he quits WWE right before this happens?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's really mad at WWE, so he's going to try to do stuff like that. Also, the night that Seth Rollins came back too, so that's going to make him even more angry because he hates Seth Rollins.
And
so,
I know that
it makes sense that one of them would be him.
Yeah, and I know that Drew McIntyre's a big Twitter guy, the first guy to get on Twitter after anything happens, and he actually deactivated his Twitter account last night after he quit, which, maybe he's controlling the WWE's Twitter. I don't know what's going on, but we've talked about in the past, Drew McIntyre is always the first guy to run to social media when something doesn't go his way. And just before that happened last night, he deactivated all of his social media. And now all this crazy stuff is happening and WWE hasn't posted anything. So I think he's taken over the WWE Twitter and he's behind all of this chaos.
What if it's Vince Mc
Vince
what if it's
McMahon.
him?
Oh,
Vince McMahon trying to
maybe.
take revenge for them ousting him or something.
I don't
Yeah.
think so because he's still under trial. I mean, it's not looking good for him right now, but he still could come out innocent under the law. And also, I mean, whether he loses or wins this case, like he has a ton of money. I mean, but I mean, he is very invested in this company and the way that the company has just abandoned him. You know, maybe, we've seen him do horrible things to people like Hornswoggle in the past. So who knows? Maybe he could do the same to Chad Gable.
Well, as Graham said, the person that's behind all this may have just hired these random people to put on masks and attack the WWE. As we know, Vince McMahon has a lot of money and he definitely knows a lot of fighters from God knows where. So even though he's on trial and couldn't physically be there last night, I definitely think it's possible that he was behind all this, hired some fighters, and he would have access to all of the WWE social media accounts and all of that stuff. So I think it's very possible that Vince McMahon is somehow wrapped up in all this, getting revenge at Triple H for just kicking him out like this and running his own show. So I think this would be a great way for him to take back over and kill a few of the WWE fighters, RIP Chad Gable, if he's really dead.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe what happened last night. And oh wait, I need to get into who I think the other four are.
Yeah.
No, wait, it was five. Wait, okay, wait. So
You said Drew McIntyre was the one. Who's the other four? Yeah.
Well, actually, I did the math wrong. I'm gonna be one off, but there's three more people who I think this could be. So number 2 is Akira Tozawa, because he was part of the Alpha Academy, who Chad Gable has been bullying and harassing for the past couple months. And he was also mysteriously missing last weekend. No one knew who he was. Could he have been plotting this the whole time? And Chad Gable was the main person they targeted during this whole thing. So, I mean, if anyone has the motive to do it, it's Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, I mean, Chad Gable has made a lot of enemies in recent weeks. And, Alpha Academy's top of the list for people that he's pissed off. But I don't know if Akira Tozawa has the pull or the power to pull off something like this. But who knows? It is possible. I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah, and then the other two. Oh, sorry, I didn't cut you off.
Go.
The other two I was going to mention, who I think it is, are the rest of the Alpha Academy, Otis, and Maxine Dupree, because they're kind of in the same boat as Tozawa. I mean, they weren't mysteriously missing, but it only takes one mastermind to hide behind the curtains and scheme this out. Well, the other people are out there, playing their part.
Yeah. None of those guys, I think, quite had the build of Otis or Maxine Dupree, but that doesn't mean that they're still somehow behind this. I think it is possible. One guy I was a little bit suspicious of is, this could be their opportunity to get back into the WWE. I don't know why they would have beef with Chad Gable personally, but maybe they're just sending a message and waiting for Friday Night SmackDown to see how the Bloodline responds to this.
I was kind of hoping that because I saw the clip where Chad Gable smacked that Asian dude and then Otis ripped his shirt off. And I was really hoping. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I was really hoping that Otis was gonna totally make him just sit on him or something. And I was really confused why he didn't, because he seemed so angry and so mad, and all he did was push him over, and then he just kind of walked away. And I was a little feeling as though like you're saying, maybe they're waiting until Friday. Maybe they're waiting until the blood to kind of boil over and see what's up. But I definitely felt disappointed by how that played out.
I think it's like pretty obvious that Otis was definitely, the beef between Otis and Gable definitely wasn't settled when they left that ring. And, who knows, maybe it could have been him who led this attack. But I want to go back to what DRW15 said about Roman Reigns possibly being one of those attackers, and I don't see that happening. The tribal chief, he's all about honor. I don't see him hiding behind a mask to do anything. He's the head of the table, so anything that he does, he's not going to be afraid to do that in the spotlight. But on the other hand, you did bring up a good point with Jimmy Uso. I think he could have done it.
I don't know. I think it's easy to have honor when you're the WWE champion, when you've got the whole bloodline behind you. But I think Roman is feeling a little bit attacked right now. Solo Sikoa has sort of taken over the bloodline, and I don't think Roman feels that he has the power or the pull that he once did. And he's not a champion of anything right now. No one knows where he is. So if there's any time for him to do something like this, it would be now. But I agree that, I don't think old Roman would have pulled something like this off. But it's a new day, and anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, I want to take this time to mention that we have, I'm not just going to casually mention this. This is a big announcement. We have our very first advertisement, our very first sponsorship on this podcast, and that's these wonderful headphones that me and DRW15 are wearing right now.
No way.
These are some of the best headphones on the market. Like, let me tell you, I'm a lot of people know that I'm a DJ in my spare time when I'm not analyzing wrestling, and so I have like pretty good headphones already for that. But I mean, these are just as good, if not better, and these are some of the best headphones on the market, I gotta say. And if you want to buy some for yourself, here we go, right here. This is the box right here.
Yeah, these are the UG08S headphones. If you want to be an announcer like Michael Cole or like Pat McAfee, you got to get a pair of headphones like these. Changing the game. If you want to be leading the podcast game like we do here at Chokeslam Radio, you got to get yourself a pair. I bet those hackers had these headphones as well, because they were clearly listening in on everything that was going on in the WWE and knew exactly when to strike last night. So UG08S headphones, top of the world right now. Got to get them.
Yeah. And I know AirPods are kind of the trend right now, but those aren't really that cool. If you're going to be rocking, if you're going to be listening to music out in public, you don't want these little tiny things jammed up in your ear and like you can barely tell what's going on. People will try to talk to you because they don't even know that you're listening to music, and you just won't hear them. It doesn't look that cool. You think that someone like Seth freaking Rollins wears AirPods? No, he's gonna wear big ass headphones where he can blast music and look cool while doing it. Or, hey, you can listen to a podcast too. Turn on Chokeslam Radio. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and every podcasting app. So just go ahead and turn that on if you're not in the mood for music.
Nope. I work at an urgent care actually, and people come in with little pieces of AirPods and headphones stuck in their ears. So get a pair like this, and you don't have to worry about it.
I thought you were gonna say you wear them in the urgent care.
That too. If I need a little break from listening to patients complain all day, just pop them on. Can't hear anything. Yeah. It's great. Noise canceling.
People really come in with AirPods stuck in their ears?
Not the whole AirPod, but like the little like heads that go on headphones.
Whoa.
You know,
Damn.
and we got to pull them out. You got to pay to come to urgent care. It's not cheap. So just get a pair like this. Probably cheaper than a single urgent care visit. So
Yeah.
you know, it's an
Yeah.
investment.
Fuck. As the founder of Apple, fuck AirPods. True.
Yeah. We do have
Oh,
the
wait,
founder
yeah,
of
sorry.
this podcast.
I
Yeah.
forgot you represented Apple. I'm sorry about that.
Represented. I founded it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I will
Anyways,
say
let's
the
get
mic on the headphones is great. As soon as you took away the headphones from your face, Big
Yeah.
Unknown, it got real quiet in there.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like for these podcasts, I usually use, I mean, I'm not going to show the company, but I use this really big, expensive microphone here. And, you know, a lot of people have said that the microphone just built into this headphone is a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's way more convenient and it's cheaper. So, I mean,
Yeah. And you look cool.
you make your
I think we look
decision,
really
but
cool.
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's sick.
let's get back into
Congrats,
the
guys.
WWE. Thank you. We had one of the greatest pay-per-views, I think the greatest pay-per-view since WrestleMania this past weekend, and I'm looking forward to breaking this whole thing down. Clash at the Castle in
Scotland.
Scotland.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Were the
Yeah.
same wrestlers that were at Clash in the Castle also at Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
That's a crazy. I was thinking about that as like a travel time. That's a crazy life to live. To be in Scotland on Saturday and then having to be in Texas by Monday or
Yeah,
Friday.
I mean, that's the sacrifice you got to make as a wrestler. You're
Yeah.
always on the road.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, is the WWE, I mean, they pay you good if you're in the WWE, but one thing they don't pay for is the travel. And you're constantly traveling, so it is a big expense for these wrestlers to take. And a lot of, if you're like a big shot wrestler like Cody Rhodes, for example, he has his own like RV pretty much that he just travels around on.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've talked about too. So there's different wrestlers on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, but everyone comes together for the live events over the weekends, like the ones where they travel like this. And so we've talked about how, you know, those guys fight in Friday Night SmackDown, and then sometimes they have to fight someone the next night on Saturday against someone who maybe hasn't fought since Monday. So there's a pretty significant advantage sometimes in being Monday Night Raw versus Friday Night SmackDown, just in terms of recovery time. You know, you'll have a match Friday, and then you got to fly to Scotland and fight again Saturday against someone who's been resting for 5 or 6 days. So it's a lot, and that's definitely something to consider when watching some of these matches. I know the first match was Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. Neither of them had a match Friday, but they're both part of SmackDown, and that was a pretty crazy match. It was called an I Quit match. So the first person to say I quit loses. So you can't pin them, you can't make them tap out, and that was a pretty crazy match and a crazy way to start out the live event.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I gotta say, and I know people are gonna be mad about this, but the Scotland fans were pretty irritating during this match, trying to make this match all about them again. What I didn't understand is they were cheering super loud for Cody Rhodes, but then they were also cheering super loud for AJ Styles. So it's like, if you're cheering for both fighters, are you really cheering for them, or are you just trying to take over the show? Like, it seems really ingenuine, you know? It doesn't seem like they're actually there to root on a fighter if they're going to also cheer for their opponent. They're just there to scream and try to get heard on TV, I think.
Yeah, well, I know Scotland is famous for the Loch Ness Monster, so I think anytime something real comes to the country, everyone just goes crazy. So it makes sense to me that they cheer for anything and everything that moves, because everyone there is like, all they're known for is a mysterious monster that doesn't actually exist, and that's what they dedicate their life towards. So when they get the privilege of experiencing something like the WWE, of course they're going to go berserk. But yeah, it's too much sometimes when these crowds are just out of control, trying to take away from the fighters in the ring. We've expressed it before during the matches in France, and we'll say it again. Let the fighters fight. We're not there to watch people in the stands cheer and do all these weird chants and stuff. We're there to watch men and women battle it out in the ring. So enough is enough.
I feel like
Yeah.
Scotland's also known for drinking, so they might have just been super blacked. Might have been goat boxed, honestly. A lot of them. And then at that point, they have no idea who they're cheering for. They're just
that's a good
absolutely goat boxed.
Yeah, I mean,
and we know only one person in that stadium is allowed to get goat boxed. It's messed up that they're all getting goat boxed.
Yeah, there's a limit there.
Yeah, a lot of the haters on our show have been saying, oh, well, the wrestlers really like the cheering. They build off of it in the ring. Well, are you sure about that? Because WWE did a 2-hour pre-show for this event, it was pretty unwatchable. It was 2 hours of just people talking about the same stuff over and over again. It was pretty boring, but there was one point where Kevin Owens, he was one of the hosts of this pre-show, and he's one of the most well-respected superstars right now. And he said himself that these international crowds are really annoying and they're trying to make the show all about themselves. The same things that we've been saying here on Chokeslam Radio. So you can go in the comments making up all these lies about, oh, the wrestlers like it. Well, if you want to know the facts from experts like us and you want to know the facts from actual superstars like Kevin Owens, the truth is that it's annoying. And, I'm sure if I was a WWE superstar and I've trained for years and years to make it to that point where I'm in a big match in front of this big crowd, and then the crowd tries to make it all about them, I would be pretty annoyed.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with all these European countries. We've talked about it before. They're used to sitting in soccer arenas for 90 minutes and waiting for one goal to be scored. So, of course, you're going to start random chants and cheers while dudes just kick around a soccer ball and cry every time their toe gets stepped on. But WWE's a real sport with real live action and a lot of it, so you don't got to keep up with these chants and stupid cheers. It's okay to get excited when a big move is pulled off or something like that, but let's keep it to that.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Anyways, this match was great anyway. Somehow Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles were able to, overpower all the, annoying fans, and they turned this into a really great match, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the first I Quit match that I've watched live. There were a few times where I thought Cody was going to say I quit, but I was a little bit shocked when AJ Styles said it. He didn't even really get hurt. He just saw Cody with some stares and got a little bit scared and said, I quit. And I know he faked his retirement a couple weeks ago on SmackDown, and now, he quits in a match as soon as Cody picks up, a pair of stairs. So I'm starting to question his dedication to the sport, if his heart's really in it. So yeah, I think Cody proved that he deserves to be a champion, at least over AJ Styles, but that's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, I would argue that AJ Styles has a lot more raw talent than Cody Rhodes. But the difference is that Cody Rhodes is a prime athlete. AJ Styles, he was dehydrated during the match, and we saw it. He went to go grab water from the announcement table, and he had that prime hydration station right there, but he chose to go for the water, and I think that was the fatal mistake that cost him the match right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the difference between prime and water. We've talked about it before on the podcast. You need those electrolytes. Prime gives you a little something extra, and in an I Quit match, Prime will put you over the top. So it was clear. I think, who was going to win that match because one guy was a Prime athlete. I know Cody was drinking Prime before the match, and AJ Styles, as you said, wasn't properly hydrated, didn't have those electrolytes. So as soon as the times get tough, he quits. You know, there was Prime right there. He had every opportunity to go drink it, but you know, he's not a Prime athlete, and that costed him. So
It's a great
Mhm.
connection.
Mm.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Graham, have you ever drank a Prime?
I have. Yeah. I bought a one of the popsicle ones, the popsicle flavor
Mm.
one, like the American Rocket ones.
Yep.
Yeah, it was it got me juiced.
Yep.
It gets you
Yeah.
juiced.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's
Do you think if
crazy.
you were in an I Quit match after you drank a Prime, would you quit?
No way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No way.
It's disappointing to hear
Mm-hmm.
hmm
because
Yeah.
all I've seen of this guy Cody Rhodes is this one video where Otis makes him look like a little bitch, and it's crazy to hear that he was going up against somebody who just faltered that easily.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like AJ Styles, it took him a while to actually say I quit, but it's almost like he quit before the match even started. He was dehydrated pretty much the whole match and it showed. And if you want to go into a match like that, it doesn't matter if it's a I quit match, if it's a regular match. Hey, it doesn't even matter if you're going into, a volleyball match. You have to prepare at least a couple of days before by eating healthy and drinking healthy. I mean, unless you're drinking like a prime or something like right before, if you're just going off water, you gotta start preparing pretty far ahead. And yeah,
They're,
it's almost
they're
like you quit before it even started.
yeah, and they're hydrated over there in Scotland. Like
Mm.
DRW15 is saying, they're looking for Loch Ness monsters all the time, and
Yeah.
that takes a ton of hydration and electrolytes to be able to do. So there's just
Yeah.
no excuse for it.
No. I think maybe if they drank some more Prime, maybe they would actually find the Loch Ness monster, or be able to search the whole lake and be able to say that it doesn't exist. But I think the fact that
Yeah.
Prime really hasn't become a thing in Scotland is probably why we don't know if the Loch Ness monster exists or not after all these years. You know, too much water, not enough Prime over there. So
It's probably why the
um,
fans suck. Also,
yeah, exactly. Maybe
yeah,
now that they've seen the benefits of Prime firsthand with Cody Rhodes, they'll start drinking it and actually get something done over there for once instead of
yeah,
just stupid soccer chants in the stands.
yeah. I like that.
Yeah. One thing that was
We have
interesting at the end of that match was that even after AJ Styles said I quit, Cody still hit him with the metal stairs. And I don't know
Mhm.
if that's just the Prime, the electrolytes were flowing. He was just showing, I still got a lot in the tank, or if that was something else, some sort of anger from deep down. I don't know where that came from, but AJ Styles said I quit. Cody still had this look on his face, and then sort of out of nowhere just still smashed AJ Styles with the stairs. So, I don't know about that move. As Carson talked about earlier, Roman Reigns was the WWE champion for a long time, and he knows when to stop. But I don't know if it's the Prime and Cody Rhodes or what caused him to do that. But interesting move from the WWE champion for sure.
I think for sure Cody was still mad about AJ Styles betraying him a couple weeks ago on SmackDown when he fake announced his retirement and then attacked Cody Rhodes behind his back. I think Cody was still pretty mad about that. But at the end of the day, Roman Reigns would never do something like that. He was the champion. That was about honor, like respect, family. Like he wasn't gonna go behind your back and do some sneaky move like that. He was gonna dominate you in the ring when it was time for the match. And yeah, he wasn't the nicest guy, but sometimes you have to do the things that other people don't like, you know, just because it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes, he's always trying to please everyone. He's always wearing a suit. Cody Rhodes is the type of guy where if if the the majority of the fans want him to do something, he's going to do it, even if it's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good take. One more thing during the match was that Cody Rhodes' mom was there, and she actually got involved a little bit and slapped AJ Styles a couple times. I want to hear from you, Graham. If you were in a match against someone and their mom started slapping you, how would you respond, especially in an I Quit match?
You know, I wouldn't have any mercy. I wouldn't hold back. I would go berserk, and I would not only. I think I'd aim for the mom first, honestly, because she's she's coming at me. She doesn't know what she's in for. No, yeah, you no mercy. Like, we're in the ring, and I'm not apologizing for anything that I do in the ring. That's the type of wrestler that I would be. No matter if it's like an infant or if it's like a 60-year-old mother.
I couldn't think of a better way to make someone quit beating the shit out of their mom.
Yeah. A true prime athlete, when those electrolytes are flowing, anyone that comes at you is an enemy. And I think going at the mom is a great technique to make someone quit in a match like that. Cody's not quitting. Take out his mom and see what he does. See if he quits then. Does he really love his mom, or does he love the WWE Championship more?
And that should really be the line that we're drawing to be a true champion of this league.
Mm-hmm.
I do like hot moms also, so that would be if she was hot, then maybe I'm thinking something different, but I'm also probably juiced up on some Prime. I'm not thinking any sort of way.
Maybe you smash her in a different way, but
yeah,
true.
So we have a comment from a viewer on Instagram, and he says thirsty wrestlers are not as strong as sharks. And I mean, that's an interesting comparison to make, but
Nah, I don't like that comparison. Sharks are such, you just tap them in the nose and they're done. I don't like that. Sorry.
What about a great white though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're scary, but if I'm on Prime, I'm riding that great white. I'm riding that great white straight to the center of a Scottish lake and finding the Loch Ness Monster. That's what I'm doing.
I would just hate if I was in a situation where I don't know how this would ever happen, but if a shark drank Prime, I wouldn't want to be in the water with that thing.
No. Yeah, we're lucky sharks live in water and they don't live in Prime, because that would be scary.
That'd be frightening.
I think we're lucky that sharks do stay in the water too, because if somehow sharks grew legs and could get in the ring, I don't think there's a fighter in the WWE right now that could win in a match against a great white. So,
true. What about Logan Paul though? He's always on Prime.
True. The Prime.
He's injecting that in his veins.
The CEO of Prime versus a shark. That would be a fight.
I would agree. I'd also like to see any of them like try to face a car, a car that's like trying to run them over or something. See if they can stop.
Well, I mean, Ricochet got put through a car last week.
Whoa,
he did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, thank God the Loch Ness Monster hasn't tasted Prime. That would be crazy too.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we've discussed this match enough. I don't really have anything else to say about this, but do you guys have any last comments on this match?
No.
The only thing I'd say is I thought I recognized the dude that was leaving the room with all the murdered wrestlers. I thought I recognized that dude's hair, like the style of hair that was like coming out the back.
Like the dreadlocks kind of. I mean, it did seem kind of. It was definitely unique. I don't know. I mean, it didn't look. I mean, it didn't look like Drew McIntyre, but he could have braided it. Like, I mean, I don't know how long that would take, but I mean, it could have been a wig too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still a mystery, and I guess we'll have to tune in for SmackDown. I don't know if there will be answers, but I mean, if you were a wrestler in the WWE right now, would you even show up to SmackDown?
No, I mean I wouldn't. If Chad Gable was really killed on Monday Night Raw, I mean, as we've talked about, he is an absolute menace to society. But I'm not risking it on Friday. There's no reason to show up with these hackers going around who, the WWE at the end of the day, it's a real sport with real fighters, and they're gonna put their lives at risk in the ring, but at least they're gonna respect one another. And it doesn't seem like these hackers have respect for the fighters or their lives. So that's a whole different battle for sure. And I'm staying away, honestly, if I'm a fighter right now, until the WWE and Triple H figure this out. Whoa.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to Clash at the Castle, because the next match I believe was the triple threat tag team match for the women's tag team championship. Um, we had, the seemingly unstoppable tag team of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I mean, we thought that it was gonna take someone like uh outside of the WWE, maybe someone like Caitlin Clark to come in and beat them, because we didn't think that anyone would be able to beat them in the WWE. But, they went up against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and then this other tag team. I don't even know who these people were. And somehow like this new tag team came out of nowhere and beat the champs.
Yeah, no, it was shocking to see. I mean, I'm pretty sure Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill had that match won. They landed their finisher, but that's the problem with the triple threat match is if you don't account for everyone, all it takes is someone to pull you off the pin and pin themselves, and then they're the champions. So I think they lacked a little bit of chemistry there. They're both too focused on landing that finisher and didn't account for the third team, and it costed them the match. But Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair still, I think, are the women to beat right now, and I see them taking back that title soon.
I don't know about that though. I mean, Bianca Belair is always going to be, superb unless she gets injured. But Jade Cargill, she looked sloppy last weekend. I mean, um, if you guys didn't know this, Jade Cargill, before she was at WWE, she actually came from AEW. So it shows that, she really showed that she doesn't really have as much experience as the people who have been in WWE for longer, because she made a couple fatal mistakes, like jumping off the ropes and slipping and like falling onto the ground. I mean, that move right there probably could have won it for them, but she messed up. And then she got lucky. It wasn't just that, but Shayna Baszler was trying to choke her out, and she was tapping out on her arm. Luckily, the ref didn't see it, but I mean, she could have lost that match in multiple points of time, and they did lose the match.
Yeah, those are AEW mistakes for sure. And when you get to the WWE, you're expected to perform at the highest level. This isn't the minor leagues anymore. So, if you keep pulling stuff like that, you're going to find yourself back in the AEW real quick. As we talked about last episode, Edge moved over to AEW and within a few weeks, snapped his leg because, it's a joke over there. So when you make it to the real deal, primetime WWE, you gotta step it up in the ring. There's no room for mistakes, and it costed them for sure.
Yeah. Another thing that I was confused about was Bianca Belair had spikes in her hair. How is that legal? I mean, that seems like a weapon that she's bringing into the match.
Yeah, I don't know how that's allowed. I know Graham's got a big,
Yeah, I got knives in here.
thing.
You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, sneaking knives in your hair is a great way to take advantage in a match. But we've talked about in previous weeks, the security team in WWE's got to step it up. As we saw Monday Night Raw, all these fighters might be dead because the security team didn't step up. And this girl puts puts knives in her hair and she's allowed in the ring. Like where do we draw the line here? You know, it's ridiculous. I know Graham could sneak in a few weapons in his hair right there, and no one would bat an eye. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. So where does what's her name? I kept seeing stuff about Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, but they don't. Do they ever
Dirty
fight,
Dom.
or they're just trying to? There's like some weird tension going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension going on there. Ever since Rhea Ripley or Mommy was attacked by Liv Morgan, Liv Morgan's been going after Dominic Mysterio because Dominic Mysterio was all buddy with Rhea Ripley, but now that she's gone, Liv Morgan's trying to take everything that Rhea Ripley had, and that starts with Dominic Mysterio. And originally Dom was it seemed like he was pretty against Liv Morgan and all that she was doing, but now all of a sudden Liv Morgan has his vest, and Dirty Dom seems a little bit into it. So I don't really know what's going on, but the rest of Judgment Day doesn't love it, I know, but Liv Morgan's definitely got into Dirty Dom's head for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Liv Morgan is definitely one of the best out there at playing mind games, especially with Dirty Dominic, ex-con Dirty Dom Mysterio. He's totally distracted right now. He has no idea what's going on in the WWE. He's just confused and trying to get away from Liv Morgan, but I feel like there's something deep down inside him that can't resist Liv Morgan. But he knows that if he were to cheat on Mommy, you think that was a massacre last night? If Dirty Dom cheated on Mommy, that would be a much, that would look like nothing. That would look like Disney Channel compared to what Rhea Ripley would do to the whole WWE staff if, Dirty Dom was gonna betray her.
Yeah, Graham, what does it mean when a girl shows up all of a sudden wearing a guy's jacket?
It's pretty sus.
Hmm.
It's pretty sus. Yeah. I mean, I was watching the video where she gave him her hotel key.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on, and it doesn't take much analysis to figure it out. If a girl I knew showed up in my jacket, I'd be like, well, I'd know why she had my jacket.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So why is that?
Stuff happens between. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming she asked for it, and maybe I gave it to her. But
okay.
It would involve then her having to be in the same vicinity as me in a maybe intimate setting, especially if she had my biker jacket, because that shit doesn't leave my side.
I don't quite understand why she would need his jacket if they're in Corpus Christi.
I agree.
Texas is pretty hot right now.
It's all indoors, right? Why do you need a jacket indoors?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
What if it was a hot mom that showed up with your jacket? What would you think then? But you were fighting her son in an I Quit match.
What would I think if a hot mom showed up in my jacket and I was fighting her son? You know what? I think I'd hope I'd remembered what I did the night before. That's what I'll say.
It's all about mind games,
Yeah, true. I guess so. If the mom is showing up though in my jacket, then it seems like she's on my side versus her son. And my assumption is that we would tag team her son.
Whoa.
A 2v1 tag team match versus her son. Wow.
Hopefully it all stays in the ring too.
Yeah. Yeah, well said.
Yeah. You know what? I hate to change the topic here, but Something that I had I really enjoyed Clash at the Castle, but there was one big issue I had, and that was, us having to pretend like Drew McIntyre, Piper Niven, these new tag team people. I don't even know their names. We're supposed to pretend like they're big main eventers. I don't think so. Like, it's pretty obvious that WWE is just catering towards the Scotland audience, I mean, Drew McIntyre, I don't know. I mean, you could argue that maybe he deserved to be in that match against Damian Priest, but Piper Niven, like, what has she done to deserve um, a championship match? I mean, just because she's Scottish, she gets to do it. I mean, it seems a little bit, I don't want to say racist, but I mean, it does seem a little bit like that.
Yeah, no,
Favoritism. It's like favoritism, right?
Racism. Yeah, I don't know who's in charge of scheduling these matches, but it's clear that they're
Is that
taking
Prime?
the fighters.
It better be fucking Prime.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm always freaking Prime.
No, whoever's scheduling these matches, it's clear that they're taking the fighters' race into account, and this can be dangerous for the fighters. If just because you're Scottish, you get thrown in the main event against, what if it was someone like the Undertaker? You could die out there in the ring just because you're Scottish, and then all these Scottish fans are going to be scarred, and we can't have another live event in Scotland after that. So I think we're lucky that all those Scottish fighters survived this past weekend, because it could have gotten ugly with all these randoms just being thrown into big matches because they're from that country.
Yeah, I mean, WWE's got to tread carefully if they're going to go down this path of, choosing fighters based off of where they're from. I don't like that.
No. Yeah. And Damian Priest nearly broke his leg in the match against Drew McIntyre. His leg got caught in the ropes. He got all twisted up, and he still won the match. I don't want to know what would have happened if, he had two legs for the whole match, because, as we said, Drew McIntyre is a decent fighter, but he lost to a man with a potentially broken leg. So in front of his hometown, if he can't get it done, then, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for quitting and potentially killing people last night on Monday Night Raw.
I mean, Drew McIntyre, he's arguing like, oh, CM Punk screwed up my match. It's just so unfair. Like, dude, I mean, there wasn't going to be a ref out there anyway. I mean, CM Punk just came out there to mess with you because of all the crap you've been talking about you. He didn't actually attack you or anything. He was just trolling you. Like, he didn't interfere with the match at all. Like, maybe you shouldn't have knocked out the ref right before you tried to do a count out. Did you think about that? Like not everything has to be CM Punk's fault.
I feel like he's got a lot of haters.
He's
got a lot of haters.
Yeah, and I mean the crowd really was mad too that Drew McIntyre lost the match, but I mean that didn't really make sense. Like, if I go to a 49ers game and they lose, like, we're not just going to stand there and like boo the 49ers for like half an hour before we leave. That seems dumb.
Yeah, no, it's silly. People are all mad at Triple H, saying that it's Triple H's fault that Drew McIntyre keeps losing. The Celtics just won the NBA Finals. No one really cared about that. It was a stupid finals anyways, but I'm not going to be mad at Adam Silver, the CEO of the NBA, because the Celtics won. It's not up to the CEO to determine who wins. It's about the fighters in the ring, and Drew McIntyre couldn't get it done. He's going to be a baby about it, because, as we've talked about, he loves to lose and then make excuses and to blame everyone else except for himself. He had every opportunity to win that match. His opponent had one leg, and he's made too many enemies to now it's coming back to bite him. So, I'm not shocked that he quit on Monday Night Raw, because seems like he's got no allies, and every time he's going to be in a match now, someone new might show up and just mess with him because he's shown that, it's not that hard to get in his head.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he's really easy to mess with. Yeah.
Yeah. His biggest allies are the Scottish crowd, and they're cheering for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got no one.
Yeah.
He needs to
I
get
thought
the
it was weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about this, but I thought it was interesting how the biggest reaction, the biggest cheer from the crowd is when Drew McIntyre took his pants off. I mean, I thought that was interesting.
Very.
Yeah. Do with that what you may, but
Mhm.
as we've talked about, the Scottish crowd is maybe a little bit out of control.
Go
Maybe
Bucks.
a little bit less of whatever they're drinking over there and a little bit more prime. Maybe if Drew McIntyre became a prime athlete, the tide would turn. But, I think he reflects the Scottish people and, time and time again can't get it done.
Another thing about this Scottish crowd is they put up the sound meter to see how loud they could cheer, and they couldn't even make it halfway up the meter. Like, that was pathetic. Like,
That is pathetic.
I mean, if you're gonna try to overtake a match and make the match all about you by cheering, at least be loud. Like, you couldn't even make it halfway up the sound meters. I mean, whatever, stupid.
Yeah, and I know all these European countries use this fake system for all their measurements, and instead of the metric system, like the real Americans do. So I'm sure that they were a little bit confused
They
by
use
the
the
sound.
metric system.
I don't care. I'm sure that they were a little bit confused by the sound meter because they didn't recognize the units. But as we've talked about, these European countries don't have a whole lot going for them, so they're going to try their best to get excited. And, it was a little bit embarrassing to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they probably, I'm sure on whatever meters they have, it was probably really loud. But
Yeah.
I mean, we're going
Yeah.
off of actual,
Yeah.
The real data.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to, I'm sure if you measured their sound in centimeters, it was great. But here in America, we use real measurements, and, Scottish crowd wasn't all that impressive.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
I do think they weren't as bad as the French crowd, though. The French crowd was pretty bad.
Did the French crowd even have more than 50 people? I mean, I can't imagine the French are really showing out for it.
It was a lot.
Wow.
It was a lot of people. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, WWE always has a lot of people wherever they go. I mean, they could do a show in
Texas,
I don't know,
middle of nowhere, Texas.
Yeah, they could do one in the middle of Alaska, and they'd probably build a stadium just for it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, well, the French are the worst at everything, so I'm not surprised that their crowd was the worst. But we need more of these live events to stay over here, because as we talked about, the crowds are bad. Yeah, the schedulers are being racist and putting fighters at risk. So we need more local fights before this gets out of control. And we keep sending Chad Gable to these countries, and now the WWE is getting attacked and Chad Gable gets shot in the head. So, where do we draw the line and learn that Chad Gable needs to stay in this country before
I don't think we're going to worry about it anymore, right? If he's dead.
That's true. Yeah.
I
don't
know if he's. I feel like if he was dead, they would have put out an announcement, but
or an obituary or something.
Well, I mean, WWE's got their whole social media locked out by these hackers. So I don't think they. I think if they wanted to, they couldn't.
Maybe they're glad he's gone. I know Pat McAfee hates Chad Gable. I know Alpha Academy hates Chad Gable. He's got a lot of haters. So, maybe they're just like, this is finally our opportunity to just forget he ever existed and move on. Because the cameraman panned to him real quick, and they're like, "Oh, it's Chad Gable." Didn't say anything, and they just kept, yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
who knows?
I wonder if Chad Gable I wonder if it's just all a setup. You know,
Maybe
if it's
Chad
all just
Gable
a
was in
setup.
on it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an interesting. That's an interesting point to bring up
because
because
like if they're not releasing stuff that he's dead, then maybe he's in on whatever is going on.
that's a
That's
good
true.
point because right around when Chad Gable started acting weird is when these QR codes and all these like weird glitches started showing up on the WWE streams.
Yeah,
And then maybe that loss on like this weekend was kind of the final straw and he just snapped.
yeah. I mean, listen,
But
if a
if
giant man like Otis pushed me over and then like just kind of left me and was like, I'm too good for you. I have no desire to mess with you. You're like, I'm better than this, just looking down on me entirely. And he's got a body like Otis does, and I got a body like Chad Gable does. I'm gonna be pissed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not saying that Otis has a bad body, but just saying he's built like a freight truck a little bit.
He's a behemoth.
He's a behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He looks like
Yeah.
Yeti a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another guy who's really big in WWE right now, and I'm not talking about like a big superstar. I'm talking about like he's big. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big man.
That's Braun Strowman.
Bronze.
And
We'll look this
and
guy
I
up.
think I have some things to say about Braun Strowman. Like, yeah, he dominated Chad Gable last night in a one-on-one match,
Damn.
but uh the thing
I mean,
is I have a couple of things to say about this Funko Pop loving guy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he likes his big move is where he runs around the ring. I forget what they call it, but he runs around the ring and like charges someone and then hits them. But the problem is like this dude can barely run. Like he's like 9 feet tall but has a 1 foot stride and he just looks like he's waddling around the ring, not going fast at all. Like somehow this move is working though, so I mean like good for him, but I mean it just looks weird to me.
Yeah, I think people are just afraid of him because he's so big. But I think once they realize that he's just a total nerd, it's gonna be different. And they keep scheduling him against guys like Chad Gable. I mean, he's double Chad Gable's size. He could probably eat him.
yep.
So
He's 6'8",
Mhm.
386.
Yeah,
That's
Oh my gosh.
crazy. Oh my
yeah,
god.
Yeah. I guess that might explain why he has trouble running if he's almost 400 pounds.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, maybe hit the treadmill a little bit and play with Funko Pops a little bit less, buddy. You know, if you really want to win in the WWE, you gotta be able to run. I'm sorry. Like walking's only going to get you so far. We've seen him; he gets mad all the time and just kind of waddles around backstage. He's never catching anyone. So
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
people are scared of him.
Yeah.
But if you can't catch your opponent, I don't understand how you expect to win.
And at this point, when you're at risk of maybe being murdered, like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
got to get
Oh,
your cardio up. You got to be able to run away.
yeah, yeah. This guy's he's a big target and he can't run.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's
that's
not a good
not
sign.
looking good.
I wouldn't be
No.
surprised if by
Yeah.
Friday he's dead.
I would be interested to see him in a match against someone like Braun Breaker because Braun Breaker is also a big dude, but he actually can run.
Braun.
It could be like a Braun versus Braun match.
Mm. Yeah, that would be a good match. I would take Braun Breaker in that one because I think one spear from Braun Breaker to Braun Strowman and Braun Strowman's not getting up.
Yeah.
We've seen Braun Breaker kind of on a tear recently. His match versus Sheamus was a banger last night, and then it got interrupted by stupid Ludwig. A little pipsqueak's annoying.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think Braun Breaker might have put an end to Ludwig with one spear. So I hope we won't see much of him again.
I mean, Ludwig thinks that he's like this big tough superstar who can take on people like Sheamus and Braun Breaker. Like, dude, like you're just the dude who calls out Gunther when he walks out to the ring, and he doesn't even do that anymore. So like, I don't
Yeah.
know who this guy thinks he is. Like, maybe he should go in a match against someone like Ilya Dragunov. That's somebody who's he could probably beat.
Yeah. Ilya Dragunov, he was using Ricochet as sort of a human shield. He was trying to start beef with Braun Breaker, but we knew what was going to happen, and Ricochet got put through a car because Ilya Dragunov put him in that situation. So now Ricochet's out for a while, and we haven't seen Ilya Dragunov since. I don't blame him. I know he's scared. Yeah, he's embarrassed, and we know he watches our show because we've told him before. You got to put in some work in the weight room if you want to win a match. And he posted one little tweet about him in the weight room, and then still got destroyed in his match. And I feel bad for the guy a little bit, but at the end of the day, fight someone like Ludwig or maybe Chad Gable, and maybe you can win those matches. But Ilya Dragunov just doesn't have it. Drink a Prime, maybe.
True. You should drink a Prime in the gym. Maybe it'll help.
Yeah, exactly.
Prime is always a good pre-workout, but yeah, I mean Ilya Dragunov, he's really good at doing push-ups. He's really good at watching anime. He's really good at making like weird motions with his arms when he's walking out. But when it comes to wrestling, which is what we're there to see him do at the end of the day, he's not that great at it, so I don't get all the hype behind him.
Push-ups don't win championships.
Nope.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't seen Cody Rhodes do one push-up, but I have seen him drink a Prime. So do with that what you will.
True. I'm curious when Goat Fuel is going to get thrown into the mix. You think they're next up?
Well, I mean, WWE already has Prime as a sponsor and also C4.
Oh.
So, I mean, it would be tough for them to get a third energy drink as a sponsor. But, I mean, it could always happen.
Yeah, because I feel like I see Prime as being like an alternative to water and C4 as being an energy drink.
Yeah, well, Prime has a hydration drink and an energy drink.
Oh, I didn't know they had both.
Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds. Yeah. Well, I know Goat Fuel has definitely recruited some Goat Fuel athletes. I know Tyreek Hill is a Goat Fuel athlete, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went after, one of the goats of the WWE. Maybe R-Truth would be in line to be a Goat Fuel athlete. R-Truth is one of the goats in the WWE.
It says Jerry Rice is a Goat Fuel athlete.
Yeah, he's the founder of Goat Fuel.
He's the that makes so much sense. Okay.
Yeah, he's the goat. So yeah, there are definitely some candidates in the WWE right now.
Might actually work on trying to get Jerry Rice on the podcast. I did have the opportunity to meet him last year, so maybe I could, put some things together and get him on the show. I think that would be a great interview.
Yeah, that'd be wow.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Graham on here, the founder of Apple and an up-and-coming WWE super analyst. So
yeah,
I think getting Jerry Rice should be a walk in the park.
Yeah. You can reach out to you know what? They're based out of Plano, Texas.
Oh.
Okay.
Which I don't think is very far from Christie.
Oh,
I wonder if they probably had scouts there looking for the next Goat Fuel athlete.
True.
I could see Jey Uso being a Goat Fuel athlete.
Yeah. Something that I think is pretty interesting is that Tyreek Hill is both a Goat Fuel athlete and a Prime athlete. How does that work?
That's suspicious.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that gives him too much power. I didn't know that, but I'm drafting him on my fantasy team for sure next year. If he's got Prime and Goat Fuel in his system before the game, I don't know. It doesn't surprise me that he's the fastest man on the planet. So,
yeah, Anyways, I think we've had a great show. Is there anything else we want to cover before we sign off?
One more thing, real quick. The Rock posted on his Instagram his elbow injury, which he claims is from filming his new movie. But as we've talked about, The Rock has been in hiding ever since WrestleMania when The Undertaker came after him. So do we think it's really from filming his new movie, or do you think he somehow got wrapped up with The Undertaker again?
I mean, last time I checked, when you have big stars in a movie like The Rock, you got like 5 stunt doubles to do anything that's going to be remotely dangerous. You're expecting that we're going to buy that he got injured from filming a movie? Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure Rock is the highest paid actor right now. So they're not going to put him in any kind of situation where he's going to have any chance to get hurt, at least for like filming a movie. Like when it comes to WWE, it's different because, you know, you're not paying him a ridiculous amount of money to like continue filming. Like if you get hurt, then he recovers and then you pay him again later. If you're filming a movie, like you got to get this done now. You can't have any injuries. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that he is not injured from a movie. He definitely had some sort of like weird altercation that he's trying to hide. And yeah, I think it definitely could be connected to the Undertaker.
Yeah. And if not the Undertaker, definitely the hackers.
Mm.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they maybe mobbed him or something. I mean, he's The Rock, so it's hard to take him down.
Yeah. He was the quote unquote final boss, which he named himself, but still, pretty high up in the WWE. So
he named himself the final boss.
Yeah, self-proclaimed final boss.
That's pretty awesome.
So if I'm a hacker,
no one was calling him that.
Yeah, he just named himself.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's a good name for him because he now is sitting on the board of directors for the WWE. So he technically he's not the final boss, but he is a boss. He has more power over even Triple H right now, who is supposedly the chief content officer, whatever that means. I mean, but yeah, he's pretty much just getting paid to sit there and, show up on press events. But I mean, it's really The Rock who's in charge of everything.
Yeah. He runs the show, but it's hard to run a show like the WWE when the Undertaker's after you. So, I don't know. Maybe the Undertaker's behind all of this after all. It wouldn't shock me. That was something last night that, the Undertaker would do. It was very Undertaker-esque. So he is another candidate. I think he would show up himself, but maybe he's waiting for a bigger moment to reveal it.
Yeah, and this actually just made me realize something. We talked about this earlier, how Vince McMahon might be trying to get revenge on the WWE. And the last time Vince McMahon appeared on camera, he had the Undertaker by his side. So it's very possible that Vince McMahon could be behind, the Undertaker attacking The Rock for sort of taking over as the head of the WWE. I didn't really realize that, but that definitely could be. I just got chills thinking about that.
Another crazy theory that you talking about that made me think about is, what if the Undertaker is his lawyer, and that's why he's been gone, is because he's been like putting his nose to the grindstone, studying up on law, trying to pass the bar so he can represent Vince McMahon in court. Could be.
Yeah.
He's a man of many traits. Possibility.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a opposing lawyer and the Undertaker showed up,
it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a worse opponent to go up against, no matter if it's in the WWE or in the courtroom.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's horrible. And I think Vince is smart for hiring the Undertaker as his lawyer. There are some other powerful figures I think of that could have used the Undertaker as their lawyer recently. But
did you just confirm?
This is not a political show. There's a lot of theories going around, but we haven't heard from the Undertaker or Vince McMahon.
You're right. Sorry. Yeah.
You know,
No, I like
anything is
it.
possible. Yeah.
Anything's possible. True.
Yeah. I know you
Definitely, I
mentioned
will
we're
say
not.
right now the WWE is better than the NBA. The NBA was sucking. That final sucked.
Yeah.
I'm pro WWE right now. I need some excitement in my life. I'm like the Scottish fans.
Yeah.
Screaming and
I would be
everything.
careful though, Graham, because those hackers last night, you know, they took out some WWE fighters, and you're an up and coming WWE super analyst, and you're appearing on one of the hottest WWE podcasts right now.
True.
So
True.
you know, me and Carson
Listen,
we've been locking our doors recently, and I just want to warn you.
that's good to know. Thank you. Let me tell you something to the hackers right now. Hackers, if you're listening, bring me in. Bring me on. I want to know what's up. I want in on this whole operation, what you guys got going on. I wanna get my hands a little dirty.
Wow.
I don't know if that's the best idea, trying to approach this group. I certainly am gonna stay as far away from them as possible. Like I can't even put my words together thinking about them. Like I just freeze up in fear.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
and I'm
I can
someone
understand both perspectives, but I think for
Mhm.
me right now, as a newcomer, up and coming, I don't have any allegiances. I want in.
Yeah, here at Chokeslam Radio, UW15 and Big Unknown want to make it very clear that we respect the hackers, but we'll keep a respectable distance. And Graham, in no way, is affiliated with our show, so he is welcome to make statements as he pleases, and you know, we're thankful
And
to have him on the show.
Also,
Thanks for having me, guys.
Valorize does not support brand statements about.
Yes.
Good thing I'm
the
not
hackers,
sponsored by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hackers do not use UG08S headphones, and Valorize is also affiliated in no way with Graham, Apple, or the hackers.
Or Ilya Dragunov.
Oh my god. True.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about WWE right now.
No, I mean, as we've talked about, we're excited for Friday Night Snackdown, but also nervous. Oh, Carson has one more thing to say. I just saw a light bulb go off.
We were talking about Braun Breaker earlier, and there was something that I was gonna say, and there's somebody that Braun Breaker really reminds me of. I think he's kind of Braun Breaker is like the WWE equivalent of Caitlin Clark because he's in a situation where he's really mad that he got, screwed out of being in the King of the Ring tournament. You know, Caitlin Clark is in another situation where she's dominant in her sport, but at the same time, they're not going to let her in the U.S. Olympics team. So I could see a situation happening in the WNBA where Caitlin Clark, we've seen it happen with Braun Breaker. She could start breaking people, start spearing people. I mean, who knows what. So anybody involved with the WNBA, just be careful about that. The more you stop preventing someone from, achieving their level of athletics, you might anchor them to a point where someone's going to get broken.
I mean, have you seen recently? She's been the one getting broken.
Yeah.
She's been getting beat up by so many, and it's crazy because she gets like hit on the head and just absolutely destroyed, and then her teammates don't do anything. They don't like fight for her or they just go and try to pick her up, but and that's where I feel for her the most, because like if I'm getting beat up on the court and my teammates aren't charging the opposing player who's beating my ass, that's not a good sign. So
I think she needs someone like Otis to have her back.
True. They need, I think she needs a career change. Is more what I was trying to say. She needs to come to the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
know
it's
that
easier
Alpha
for someone.
Academy. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I know Alpha Academy is looking for a new leader. If Caitlin Clark came to WWE, then she could possibly become the replacement for Chad Gable in the Alpha Academy. I think everyone would be happy about that.
She need to bulk up a little bit though. No,
Mm,
little skinny.
yeah.
I feel like she might get
drink a prime, hit the weight room a little bit.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
WWE, it's a bit easier because, you have a platform to take out your anger a little bit, but everyone's got a breaking point, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Angel Reese through the windshield of a car soon. We saw Braun Breaker do it, and I think if things don't change for Caitlin Clark, that could be coming soon. So, you heard it here first on Chokeslam Radio.
Wow, that's a crazy yeah, I like it. I like it. I like that type of prediction. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, usually when we bring something up like this on the show, something is going to happen. Like, I can't think of one time where we brought up an argument on the show that no one else was saying, and then something crazy happened with it. Chad Gable, for example, we've been saying for months that he's doing too much. Something has to be done to stop him. No one else has been saying this besides us. We had Triple H on the press conference last weekend saying that he's glad Chad Gable is still a part of the WWE and that they actually just re-signed him. His contract was expired and they just re-signed him. I mean, what kind of silly mistake was that? So it was just a matter of time till something happens, and now he's got a bullet through the head.
Yeah, that's a big waste of money by Triple H there. You're signing this dude to a big contract, knowing, all of the times we brought him to another country and he's pissed off another nation. We brought him to France. We knew France wasn't going to do anything, but you bring him somewhere like Scotland where they're out hunting for the Loch Ness Monster, and, 2 nights later he's dead. So,
yeah. If you're Triple H, you got to hope he didn't take out any sort of life insurance or anything.
I know. Yeah.
Because then you're really going to owe the Gables a lot of money.
Yeah.
Might tank WWE for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Undertaker's going to need to be Triple H's lawyer as well, or this is going to be bad.
Do you think, are there going to be any fights in Dubai or Saudi Arabia anytime soon?
There actually was recently for King of the Ring, which was last month, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another country where Chad Gable did a bunch of crazy stuff. As a U.S. Olympian, he's representing our country, and when he goes into another country and disrespects everyone, that's bad for us. Who knows? Maybe this group that came in and attacked them last night, maybe they're,
the Saudis
from another country. Yeah, I mean, or Canada, or, Scotland now. So, I mean, it could be. I mean, at this point, everyone hates Chad Gable, so everyone except Triple H, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what Triple H sees in the guy, but it doesn't really matter because he's dead now. So we must move on.
I don't think he will be missed as much as Willie Mays.
I agree.
No,
Willie Mays
we started the episode with an announcement about Willie Mays' death, and Chad Gable had also died, and we didn't even mention it right away. So that just shows the impact that Willie Mays had versus the impact that Chad Gable had on everyone's lives.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got to say. I mean, I could talk about WWE all night, but I don't know if our viewers really deserve that from me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tune in next week. We took a 1-week break last week, but from here on out, we pledged to be better, and we got Money in the Bank coming up in a couple weeks. A lot of big events coming up, so make sure you're tuning in every Tuesday night.
Thanks for having me, guys. This has been a lot of fun. It's good to see you. See you both.
Yeah.
Love your faces.
Thank you for coming on the show and sharing your expertise, and I'm sure the viewers, they're very glad that they got to tune in, and yeah.
Yeah.
you
Thanks
so
for
much.
keeping me in the loop too.
Yeah,
I'm
I will say
happy that I was able to share.
one of the best guests we've had on the podcast for sure,
Oh.
without a doubt. The best guest from New York, not even close.
Wow. Thank you.
So,
Next week,
so-
Luke's gonna come and take my spot.
no, he's already been on the podcast. That's why I said it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, big announcement. Our
appreciate
podcast is on a bunch of podcasting apps now, all the episodes except this one. I think there will be like a slight delay uploading the live episodes, but we're streaming live to YouTube, Instagram, X. I think that's it. But
yeah, shout
I'm
out.
on
We have
Twitch right now.
27. We have 27 viewers on our X live stream right now. So shout out all our friends on
Oh.
X. Shout out Elon Musk.
yeah.
True.
That's big. We post
Yeah,
a lot
so-
of good tweets on there. So turn on our notifications because we always have the breaking news for the latest and greatest WWE breaking news.
Yeah, and if you missed the live show, make sure to listen to we got the whole archive of Chokeslam Radio on pretty much every podcasting app you could think of. So we got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music,
True.
Pandora, pretty much any
Pandora.
podcasting.
Nice.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah,
That's a rare one.
iHeartRadio.
Sirius XM. Nice.
No, we're not. We haven't been signed by Sirius yet, but
It's
if
coming.
you're interested, hit us up.
Yeah.
And shout out to our first sponsor again, Valorize headphones. I hope the audio was super clear for you guys because we've been using
It's been great for me.
the greatest headphones on the market right now.
I'm not gonna lie, DRW. I'm having trouble taking these things off. I mean, 'cause they're
They
just
look so
comfortable. I
comfy.
just want to, I just want to wear them all day. Like, instead of listening to cars drive by on the street, I could listen to Chokeslam Radio on my super nice headphones. I mean, feels like my head is like being stuffed between like, something that feels
Pillows.
good.
2 pillows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that
Or
feels
something
good.
else.
Something
Yeah.
that feels good. Nice.
Next time
Yeah.
there's a live event in Europe, I'm gonna wear these headphones and probably still put it on mute because I can't stand the crowds, but I'll still be wearing the headphones. And for all the WWE events in the US with the real fans, I'm gonna have it on full volume because we know how it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Damn, I hate to end the stream with 30 live viewers like this.
You
But
gotta leave them wanting more, man.
yeah, make sure you guys all tune
Tune in
in.
next
I'm
week.
gonna play their outro. Make sure you
Great
chokeslam the
commentary.
subscribe button and the like button, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on this bone-chilling journey through the world of WWE. Join us next time on your favorite podcast app or live Tuesday nights on YouTube, Instagram, and X. As the final bell tolls, remember to stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales from the crypt. Chokeslam that button and subscribe. Check out srotu.org and TRW15 on YouTube, or else. Until next time, may the power of the dead man be with you. Rest in peace.